Hey, what's up, y'all? It's me, Nate Almighty, and I'm back with another Powerbook Full Force Season 3 Theory video. We're going to do another ghetto reaction to Get How I Live's channel. And the topic of today's video is Diamond Fakes His Death Revealed. So we're going to see what evidence Get How I Live has to present to us the fact that Diamond will be faking his death in Season 3. Like I said, credit goes to Getting How I Live. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Without further ado, let's get to it.
The fourth Season 3 teaser shows Tommy dressed in all black with a black hoodie on in what looks to be an abandoned building. And we can see Diamond behind him. And Tommy has a lighter in his hand like he's about to light the building on fire. Another clip from the teaser shows Tommy and Diamond both dressed in all black with hoodies on and gloves, walking out the same building with fire in the background like there was some kind of explosion. Notice that Tommy's also walking with a bag in his hand as him and Diamond are walking away from this explosion. And something else really interesting about this clip is that everything's going down during the daytime. Because of that, it's almost like Tommy and Diamond were intentionally trying to make a scene or a diversion. So this is a big clue from the fourth Season 3 teaser, leaving the question, why is Tommy and Diamond set this building on fire? And
it's already a fair argument so far, because we know in Season 1 of Powerbook 2 Ghosts, Tommy faked his death during the daytime too with a big explosion. So either they're going to copy the same trope, which is like, it's kind of like corny and not creative. But we know that the Power series, they like to redo certain tropes. So either they doing it or they not.
And also, what could have been in this building to give them a reason to set it on fire? Keep in mind, in Power, at one point, when Tommy was running distro in New York for Jason Mitchell, to get his premieres to turn on him, Dre and Crystal Ball set Tommy's warehouse on fire to burn all his product up. So this could be a similar situation to that. But the big difference is Dre and Crystal Ball were trying to undermine Tommy to steal his premieres by doing this. And also Dre was the inside man when they did that, as he was Tommy's distro at the time. Not to mention, like I pointed out, Tommy and Diamond are walking away during the daytime, and Dre and Crystal Ball lit Tommy's warehouse on fire at night. So either though this could potentially be somebody like Miguel's warehouse where he keeps his product, what might just be taking place in this scene is that Diamond is faking his death. Diamond potentially took out his molars and left them in the warehouse so he could fake his death, similar to how Tommy faked his death in New York City. Keeping in mind, when Tommy faked his death in New York, it was similar to what we see going on with Tommy and Diamond in this scene, because he was driving in his car, and the next thing we know, we see that car wrecked at a gas station and an explosion taking place when Tommy was acting like he was there to kill Tasha and fleeing from the cops. And all the cops that were there assumed that Tommy was dead, and afterwards it was confirmed he was dead because Tommy took out his molars for the cops to find, to identify him. Keep it in mind that this was also in broad daylight, with a diversion that took place that allowed Tommy to get away.
True, very true, very true, very true.
Similar to how Tommy and Diamond are walking away from this building in broad daylight. And there's also the fact that we still don't know to this day exactly how Tommy was able to escape like he did. Either though we know that that car explosion was definitely a diversion to help him get away, in addition to him faking his death. So if this is in fact Diamond faking his death, maybe Tommy's drawn from previous experience when he faked his death in New York, and we might potentially get a flashback scene or something like that, where they could show how Tommy was able to get away when he wrecked at that gas station. But Tommy's also set up a fake identification and registration for his car. Keeping in mind, in Season 1, a cop was harassing Diamond while he was in the driver's seat of Tommy's car. And when Tommy came out, he gave the cop his information and told Diamond that the cop wouldn't even find as much as a parking ticket to his name. So with that said, we still don't know who hooked Tommy up with the fake identity. So we may also find out who Tommy went through for that if Diamond needs to do the same type of thing. But if I was guessing, like I said in other videos, I definitely think that Davis McLean and Tommy have history, and that Davis was involved in helping Tommy fake his death. Keep in mind that Davis had just done a news interview after Tasha was let out of jail, talking about the search for Tommy Egan is on. So because Davis was involved in helping Tasha snitch on him, I think Tommy probably forced Davis to help him fake his death. In addition to Tommy faking his death in Book 2, Season 1, we also saw Tariq and Monet both temporarily fake their deaths, long enough for Carter and Noma to think they were both dead in Power Book 2, Season 4, after they killed the Russians and put them in Monet's G-Wagon and lit it on fire. So in the same type of way that Tariq and them left the Russians' bodies in Monet's G-Wagon, Tommy and Diamond might have left a couple dead bodies in that building also before light.
Which is interesting. All of this is interesting, but I ain't gonna lie, man. Like, Diamond faking his death, that's cool. Understandably so, why he would do it. But if he just does it in the same exact manner where it's broad daylight and it's an explosion and now nobody can find Diamond, like, if they do it that exact way, trash. Trash. Trash.
Lit it on fire. That might be why Tommy had that bag in his hand. It might have been removing the molars from the dead bodies and also cutting off their fingers, like how Tariq and them did in Book 2 with the Russians. Not to mention, faking his death is definitely not something out of the realm of possibility for Diamond's character.
It's not.
Because of the fact he's already spent 15 years in prison.
AKA, I'm not going back. Hashtag fake identity me, please.
And similar to how Kane and how he'd rather shoot up with the cops and ultimately die before going back to prison, I think Diamond has the same type of attitude and would literally rather die than go back to prison.
He killed his parole officer because he didn't want to go back. So obviously, he's not going back. Like, he's not having it. He's dying or he's not going to jail. It's that simple.
Listen, and this is basically what he's going to do by faking his death, because it most likely has something to do with him trying to avoid going back to prison. Like why Tommy faked his death in New York. In addition to whatever Diamond might try to get into in Season 3 that could possibly bring even more heat on him. And also the fact that Stacey Marks is hot after taking down Tommy Egan in CBI. Things are already hot around Diamond because of the fact he killed his parole officer, Tyrone Reeves, in Season 2.
Yep.
And the DOJ was already at Diamond's barbershop looking around because of the fact that Officer Reeves' records stated that Diamond's barbershop was the last place he...
Yup, and gonna have to pay somebody off. Gonna have to pay somebody off to make that go away too.
Went to. And unlike Seamus, who was a dirty cop, and his death really didn't draw that much attention, this is a whole different situation. Because I definitely think that they're going to be trying to find answers to get justice for Officer Reeves. Not to mention that Tommy also had Vic Flynn kill Vargas in Season 2 as well. So that's 3 people involved with law enforcement that was killed in affiliation with CBI in Season 2. So because there's so much heat from law enforcement right now, we also know that Tommy's going to be leaving Chicago at the end of Season 3. If Diamond is in fact faking his death in this scene, I also have to ask the question, could Tommy be trying to do the same thing again in Chicago? Is history repeating itself? Either I'm kind of unsure about how that would...
Hopefully not, man. Don't let history repeat itself, man. Let them do something different, yo. Let them do something different that's going to make this show, this season, stand out more than the others, man.
Work after
Joseph Sikora and Tommy Egan deserve that shit, yo.
Tommy already took out his molars when he faked his death in New York. Not to mention, we already know that Stacey Marks got Vic Flynn to say that Tommy killed Vargas, but she didn't use that because her husband was pressing her about forcing Vic to say that. But in addition to Vic saying that Tommy killed Vargas, Diamond admitted to Jannard that he killed his parole officer. So if Jannard and Shanti are trying to take over CBI, this could potentially be something that Jannard could use against Diamond.
He's not going to do it. Not gonna do it.
It could be part of the reason why Diamond has to fake his death. Maybe they killed Jannard and Shanti.
Alright, so thank you if you make it to the end of this video. What I'm gonna do is, let's talk about and speculate how Diamond faking his death could work out to their benefit overall, right? If Diamond actually is faking his death in this scene, or if he does it at all, and it's earlier in the season, one very big benefit that I could see coming from this is the fact that Diamond would then be considered to be dead in the street. So his enemies, as far as whoever's connected to Mad Dog and whoever else is looking for Diamond because of Tommy, they would think Diamond is dead, which means they would not see Diamond coming, right? If it's in the news and they got in the news, hey, listen, we seen some kind of DNA that lets us believe that Diamond is dead, they're going to stop looking for Diamond. So they're not going to see Diamond coming, like I stated before. And then that would make things easier for them to get stuff done, right? Kill a couple extra people, pop up on certain people, things like that. But that's the video. Shout out to Getting It How I Live. Like I said, y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Did he fake his death? Is he faking his death? If you don't think he's faking his death, what do you think they're doing in that scene where they're walking out of whatever stash spot and it's an explosion? It's an explosion in the middle of the day. Let me know what y'all think. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Peace.
Can't teach that shit, nigga. Come on. That's God gifted. That's touched by an ink. That's off the dome, nigga.